been about a year and 4 or 5 months now. I skated down the ice, shot the puck, and just realized I couldn't practice. I had to get off, and I went to my trainer at Brian Domain and at St. Cloud State, and finally I went to the hospital, and that's a scary part, but also obviously super important to do, and I regret waiting so long.
I had never heard much about it. The symptoms didn't make sense to me. I had no clue that it was Crohn's, and so I just tried to put it in the back of my head and eat healthier, but as the longer I waited, the worse it got. Just talking to that first doctor was kind of a little scary, some of the possibilities of what it could have been, and what it might be was very hard. And first phone call with my parents was pretty tough, but they handled it very well, and I thought my mom would be beside herself, but she was even tougher than my dad, I think.
I was in the hospital for 4.5 days, just recovering and all the damage that had been done over the months of just living with it without medication and what I needed. But luckily I had 25 teammates in school and teachers and even the advising staff were coming by and saying hi. I was in the hospital, and so I had a really good support staff at college, and I think St. Cloud State, that's something that's one of the reasons I love it there so much. But after those 4.5, 5 days, I was anemic, and I needed to do some blood transfusions and iron infusions as well. And it just took a while for the blood to get back to normal, to where it was, and to where it can be healthy and where I can skate and play hockey.
It was about 2 months after I was diagnosed, so I was kind of coming to terms with it more, and I was back home with my family when I went in for my first treatment, and it was super easy, and it couldn't have gone easier. I just basically sit there and watch a show on my iPad or maybe read a book, and it's over in 2 hours. Infusions I do in an oncology center, so there's people dealing with in the chairs, there's people dealing with different types of cancer, and or same thing as me. The iron treatments helped, and as well as the medication I get through my arm. I got really good veins for it, so they say I always get complimented on my veins. The iron that I was taking, it's really hard on the stomach, so I would start to get blood and stool after taking that for a few days, and I didn't know it was that was causing my stomach pains. When I got diagnosed, for the first 6 or 7 months, I had a journal where I would write down everything I ate and just write it down that night, just try to remember the best I could of what I ate. And then if I'm in a flare-up, there's obviously different medications you have to take, but I've been pretty lucky lately, and I just weaned off one of my medications, and I'm hoping to wean off another pill. As of right now, I'm taking some meds in the morning, and then every 2 months I have my infusion, and that's basically it. I WebMD'd it, and I was before I talked to anyone about it, and I think I just waited too long, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't know. I can't diagnose myself, and I think that it's important that you don't just use Google and stuff like that, and that you do have the courage to go to a hospital and talk to the doctors, because that's one thing I realized is that the doctors that I had in St. Cloud when I first got diagnosed is they're there to help, and that's what their job is. So I couldn't have been more thankful for what they did and how they made me feel. Didn't try to struggle so long, and didn't try to get better on my own for so long and not talk to people about it. Even my family, I think that it wouldn't have got to the point where I would have lost 20 plus pounds, and I would have been better off with the medications would have worked earlier. And so I kind of put myself in a tough spot by just not being brave enough to go in for a long time, and it just so that's just something I want to kind of emphasize to younger kids, and that are scared, that people are there to help, and they want to help you.